everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Bullish or Bearish. I'm Angela Chu, and I'm here with my brother Tony, who you're going to see in a little bit. And we're from Success Options Group. And what we're really trying to do with this Bullish or Bearish is to bring you hot financial topics that you really want to know about and give you both sides of the story, let you know what's actually out there so that you can actually take this information and actually make a better decision, the right decision for you and your goals for your future.
Yeah, and that's really what this is all about. Just how do you make better decisions, get the information you need to make comfortable decisions, right? So, normally we do this through our workshops or our private coaching, but these short little topics, this is our way to introduce you to both sides of the argument. And without further ado, the first argument for this episode is going to be cryptocurrency, right? So why crypto is both the present and the future. So I think, just to start off, the crypto, the main reason why you do crypto is the returns, right? Return on investment. So, just go back to the beginning of the pandemic, Ethereum, $200, Bitcoin, 10,000. Where are they now, right? We're here in November 2021 and 60,000 for Bitcoin, 4,000 something, right, for Ethereum. So that's a 20 bagger or a 6 bagger, right? That 600%, 2,000% return on investment, right? And that's just where you start.
But you say that, oh, look at this great return. But crypto is also super volatile. It's confusing, and it's kind of wait, what do I need to know to actually be able to invest in this? There's so much out there, and what actually is it? There's no, okay, it's just some mysterious thing out there that you're okay, now I don't even know what this thing is, and you want me to invest in it?
Right. Yeah. Crypto, and this gets at why crypto is the future, right? So I agree. So you need to have some amount of education, right? You can't just buy the nearest Shiba Inu coin or your nearest dog coin, right? What you do have to do research, right? Or you need coaching. You need to find those trusted resources you're really looking for. But what it comes down to, the reason why crypto is the future, it's a universal currency, right? So me and you play games, right? We're gamers, and you have these games, right? And they have an in-game currency. And why is that? That's so you can take people from countries all over the world, take the US dollar, take Chinese yuan, Tokyo, Japan's yen, right? And you put it to a universal currency that can be used within the game for everything you need, right? And that's really the beauty of crypto, right? You create these universal coins, these universal currencies, and you can get whatever you need.
Yeah, but okay, you talk about it like that. I play games, and do you know how often you get scammed? There is no protection around it because there's no regulation, right? There's no government regulation, because if it's going to be universal, then there's no single government that's regulating it. So you have no protection. You can get scammed so easily. And how many people talk about their characters getting hacked in their game? How is that going to be any different for your crypto? Your crypto can get hacked,
Yeah, so security is definitely a concern. And that's one of those things we talk about in the workshop. Is just how do you get secure? There's a famous saying in crypto, it's not your keys, not your coins. So that means if you don't have physical control of your coins, then you're kind of playing it a little bit loose, right? You're kind of leaving it open for somebody to come and grab it. But let me go back to your question. I think you were asking why, or how do you even know what to get, what kind of coin, and that's where the future part of a lot of these coins is. This is something we talk more about in the coaching sessions, but really you need to find something that has practical applications as well. It's not just any coin, right? And that's things like Ethereum is built on this whole, not necessarily coins, but the whole idea of the ledger, right? The whole idea of the blockchain, where they create these smart contracts, which are viewable to everybody, right? Everybody on the blockchain can see this agreement that's made by these two people, right? And that's like the ledger. That's the documentation that a transaction has occurred, right? And that's why this is the beauty of future is crypto and blockchain.
Yeah, okay, you say the future is that, but then you just talked about how if it's not your keys, it's not your coin. So what about inheritance? Like if you pass away, nobody knows what your key is. What happens to that crypto that's like out there with no owner then?
It's a valid concern, but it's no different than a lot of things. Like when somebody dies in real estate, there's a whole probate kind of process, right? And you have to figure that out. Yeah, here's where it really is the present actually too, right? So like you can see it's innovation. It's just breakthrough innovation everywhere in cryptocurrency, right? Because like I said, it's a universal currency. So like people are creating ATMs where you can exchange coins for like your fiat. So for your US dollars or your yen or your yuan, right? And the bigger innovation is like it cuts out the middleman, right? You don't need this intermediary bank when you buy this property, right? It's a transaction and you don't have to pay some extra fee for this guy in the middle, the middleman that just takes a little cut just so he holds it for you, right? And that's, that's why everybody is in love with this idea of crypto. It cuts out the middleman, right?
Okay, you say that it cuts out the middleman and like you talk about how great that is, but sometimes the middleman is the guy who's giving you insurance. Like crypto, if you make a transaction, that is gone. You can't get your cryptocurrency back. As soon as that transaction goes through, there's no way to like you find out you were scammed, there's no way to get it back. Whereas like Visa, one of the big things why Visa, MasterCard, and all of these big credit cards, it's like, yes, you pay them a fee, but if you're scammed, you call them up, you tell them you were scammed, they can reverse the transaction. I mean, that's one of the big things about, having this insurance.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's insurance, right? So that's all about customer service, right? And that's the still part that's getting developed, right? So the Visas, the MasterCards, they have good customer service. So they just front you back the money, right? And they go after the person that did the illegal transaction. It's not necessarily like secure in that sense, like PayPal and eBay, right? That PayPal will always side on the buyer's side, right? Right, and then they'll take it away from the seller, right? I think it gets back to the thing that most people worry about is what crypto do I buy, right? And this is no different than when we talk about stocks and options. People say, what stocks do I buy? Like, there's like millions of stocks, right? And like, it's what you use, right? That's just like what you've coached many of your students before. It's like, it's what do you have around you? And that's what crypto gets at, is like, you don't pick anything. You do have to do research. You do have to have some kind of backing in what you're choosing. But it comes down to that, we've talked about inflation before, and we've talked about gold, and, check out those prior episodes if you're really interested. But it comes down to that this is a holder of value. It maintains its value as well, right? And it's universal currency. So it takes out like those exchanges, like the foreign exchange. Like our parents used to own a restaurant, right? And one of the most annoying things was you always had to have change. You had to have coins. You had to have $1 bills, $5 bills, $10 bills, right? Because people would buy and then you would need change, right? And this avoids it, right?
So really what you're getting at is that it's not something that you just randomly pick. It's like when I talk about stocks, and you have to invest in what you know about and what you're comfortable with. And that takes, like you said, education, research, and like really like knowing yourself and knowing what's right for you, because what's right for you is not necessarily what's right for everybody else. So it's not about following the trend. It's about like getting yourself educated so that you can make the right decisions for yourself. And that's really where our workshops and our one-on-ones come in, because you really need to talk to somebody so that you can figure out for yourself, really, what is right for you.
And just like anything investing, you'll have questions. And that's really what come to the workshops, right? Sign up. We'll have some links in the description, or you can sign up for a private consult, easy too. And figure out what works for you. Because, you know, we'll go back to like, it's not all your eggs in one basket, right? It's not 100% crypto unless you want that kind of volatility. So what it really comes down to is, you know, just you have to find your comfort area, right? And but that all starts with knowing what you like and what you don't like and what you're willing to take.
Right. So like always, hit the like, hit the subscribe, and take a look at the links below and sign up for one of our workshops.